I wait each and every Saturday. I can't wait to do that. And we only got a couple left before draft night, 27th of April. But meantime, boy, are we going to talk about this or what? Tonight, the GM on the hot seat. Let's call him Chef Flo. Hey, Chef, I just realized something.
Whoa.
It's Saturday night.
Chef, you got an echo.
What's this?
Each and every Saturday, I can't wait.
I know you got something on. You got something on. You got to turn off. Okay.
Yeah, I turned it off now. It's all good.
Anyway, you can hear me okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call you Chef, okay? Because I kind of like that. Wait.
All right, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna call you Chef because I like that. And the reason I want to know is, by any chance, are you studying to be a chef, or are you already a chef, or what's going on with that?
No, you know what it's from? It was I was thinking of a couple years ago. I was thinking of a cool basketball nickname, and you know how they have Chef Curry out there.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking Chef Jeff or Chef Flores.
Yeah.
And that's like where it came from.
All right.
But yeah, just something playful.
Yeah, because I'm into food, bro, man. I mean, good cooking is just something. I mean, if you're gonna be a chef,
No, I can cook too. I can definitely cook.
Oh, check him out. And what did he say? I can cook. I can definitely cook. So I'm dying here. Anyway, we'll get into some of your recipes later. But listen, Chef and I were just talking about something that's come about now that's going to be a little strange. Chef, ask me that question again so I can laugh, man. What did you hear out of Cleveland?
All right, so there's been some news lately that Cleveland might call us to talk about trading for the number 2 pick. To pick both Mitch Trubisky and Myles Garrett. They don't know which one they want to pick.
Greed is going to cost them all. Hey, Chef, before we get into your presentation, put yourself in this situation for a moment. What would you charge Cleveland for that?
Obviously their number 12 pick, their second round pick, their third round pick, and the second rounder next year.
Yeah, you know what? Because this is very valuable to them, and that is not a bad deal. I like that. Because who do they think?
I would be happy too.
Yeah. Who do they think they are? We want the first and second pick. So, well, we want yours. What you got? What do you want?
Yeah.
And then you hit them with that. Yeah. See, because we could use all these extra picks, and we're talking high picks, 12th, second round. You're asking, we already got a second round pick. That was given 2 second round picks. Chef, we trade the 12. You got to give us a 12 anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a second and third. We get 2 picks every round after that. Oh, God.
I'm loving that.
Yes. So come on, Cleveland. Make that phone call. Chef
I'm
Flores.
sure the Browns fans would love that move though too.
Yeah, they would, because they get, because I tell you honestly, well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything more about my picks. I'm gonna get. Let's turn it over to you right now, Chef Flores, our GM of this particular night, 2 weeks before the real deal. Chef, it's all yours, man. Take it away. Oh, but wait. I want to say one more thing. If you have a question for Chef Flores, remember, #Q, so I don't have to look through every last comment to see where is the question. #Q, I'll relay it to Chef at the end of his presentation. All right, Chef, take it away.
All right, so there's been rumors of us trading with the Carolina Panthers for weeks now, and that's going to happen here. So for the first 49ers move, 49ers trade the second pick to the Panthers for their 2017 first and second rounder and their 2018 first rounder. And with the 8th pick, we select Malik Hooker.
All right.
I believe he can fall down. Lots of people think like he's gonna be selected by the Chargers, and that'd be a smart move by them. But honestly, they might go offensive lineman or quarterback because they're in Los Angeles now, and I'm sure a lot of people from LA wouldn't want to see the Phillip Rivers play. But yeah. He's very raw, but he can develop into an all-pro in a couple years. If we draft him, he's got a great technique and everything. He struggles against the run, but how do you pronounce his name? Salil?
So wait, are we talking
Our
about
defensive coordinator?
Oh, Salah.
Salah.
Mm-hmm.
Salah.
It's like Salah
But
without the
he'll
D.
get him straightened up. He shows explosiveness, speed, and quickness. Exceptional instincts, great ball skills. He's got a slow step, but I think that'll get all fixed up after Sal gets to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he, you know how important that free safety position is to the 49ers defense.
Extremely.
I think he's the best free safety in this draft. Yeah, he's lacking experience, but he's got all the intangibles and everything else, all these ball skills and everything. I think he'd be the perfect pick for us.
All right.
All right, so with our second round pick, number 34, we're selecting Caleb Brantley, defensive tackle from Florida. 6'3", 370 pounds. He eats up runners, feels disrespected when he isn't double teamed. He's got tremendous play strength, good competitive toughness.
Right.
He'll likely require 2 blockers. He'll be perfect for our scheme also, freeing up space. Reminds me of Justin Smith. But he also gets a lot of pressure to the quarterback. But his stats don't show it though because of his arms. They're pretty short, so he can't reach them. But he gets all to the quarterback pretty often.
All right. Hey, what's his height again? How tall is this guy?
6'3". He's kind of undersized, weight wise, but 6'3". He's got decent size other than his weight, but he can add some more bulk.
And in fact, how much did you say he weighs?
307 pounds.
That's what I thought you said. What do you mean he's undersized? 370 pounds? 370. You said 370.
Also, this guy, what do you call it? He has played less than 50% of Florida snaps.
Yeah.
So there are some stamina concerns, but I think we can rotate him in with Earl Mitchell also. And if he gets that right, he could eventually beat Earl Mitchell for the starting job.
God, just 370. That's as big as Trent Brown.
307. 307. 307.
Woo!
Did I say 370?
Yeah, you did. I want to see this guy. This guy's as round as he is tall. Okay, that makes sense. 307. Okay. All right.
Wow.
But that's still good size for a defensive lineman. All right.
Yeah.
Scared me, bro.
With our 40th pick, we select Tim Williams, 6'3", 244 pounds, out of Alabama. I think he's the edge rusher we need.
Okay.
Super quick off his stance, can beat you outside or inside, has good hands, and he's that search and destroy player. And I think he could be great for us off the edge. He struggled a lot with Bama's scheme. Also, obviously had trouble with the law and with Alabama itself getting suspended multiple times for marijuana use and hidden arms. But I think we can straighten him out also.
Yeah, of course. In California, it's legal to smoke anywhere. So
He'll be fine. He also only averaged 28 snaps as a senior, which is a concern, but that's mostly because Bama had lots of talent at that position, with Ryan Anderson also.
Okay.
And just he's mostly a pass rushing guy.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
This,
So
this is your third
right
round.
here in the
That's your
round
third
with
round
our
pick, right?
66 pick.
Okay.
We are helping out the defensive backfield, and we're selecting Hakilo Witherspoon, cornerback from Colorado. He's 6'3", 198 pounds, posted a 40-inch vertical and a 4.45 40-yard dash. Gets to stop speed quickly. He led the nation with 22 pass breakups, and quarterbacks had a 26.6 completion percentage against them. Quick on his feet, despite his size. Great ball skills also. He's pretty lanky. Still learning his own size. He grew half a foot after high school also. But I think he could fit in perfectly with Rashard Robinson, and Salil can use him pretty well. And get that big, long, rangy defense that Seattle used to have.
All right. Hey, that's your first. Is that your first pick in the fourth round? You're in the fourth round right now. Okay.
No. That's the
third round pick. Okay.
Number 66.
All right.
Also, with the 109th pick in the fourth round, we select Bucky Hodges, tight end wide receiver from Virginia Tech. He's 6'6", 257 pounds. He struggles with his routes. He's pretty nonchalant with it, but he has the talent. He's a project player. But I think Shanahan could straighten him out. He's a red zone threat also, but has a large catching radius, so he could help out whichever quarterback comes in. He'll be a great player for us if we draft him.
All right.
Next pick is Jeremy McNichols from Boise State.
All right.
This is the guy I was talking to you about. I think he's the best pass catcher in the NCAA football. Good play strength, able to break arm tackles, quick player, good amount of balance, good vision, change of direction ability. I've seen him play live. He had 37 receptions for 474 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2016. He's a workhorse. 24 rushing attempts per game, totaled over 1,700 yards, 5.4 yards and attempts, and 23 rushing touchdowns. He doesn't possess great lateral speed. He's quicker than fast. Takes him a while to reach his full speed, though. But I think he could be a running back that could play behind Carlos Hyde and also beat out DeJuan Harris and take in that backup position after Tim Hightower leaves.
Ooh. Whoa. Now that's an endorsement. All right.
5th round, we're going with Chad Wheeler, offensive tackle / guard. It's the versatility I'm really looking for here in these later rounds. He's 6'7", 360 pounds. He fits with our scheme also. There's not much else to him, but yeah. Then one of my favorite players from this draft is Joe Mathis from Washington.
Okay.
I talked about him earlier in some of your podcasts or radio shows.
Okay.
He's 6'2", 255 pounds, fast. I think he was the best player on Washington's defense at times, but he got hurt early in the season after 6 games. He had 25 tackles and 5 sacks in 6 games. He's an edge player. Got to the quarterback pretty often, but he's someone else who can really compete for that edge Leo position with Tim Williams and Aaron Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, Ben Boulware, linebacker, Clemson, round 6, our first pick.
The first one to say, all right.
Yeah. He's tough and competitive. He really doesn't have the athleticism, but he knows how to play football. And he's one of those, he's like the Scooby Wright of this draft.
That's what I was trying to remember. Last week I was thinking about Scooby was the guy in the 7th round, and we could have got him, we didn't. But yeah, okay. Bolaware, 6th round.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart player. I think he could go 7th round, but I think we should take him earlier. Some teams are going to look at him there also. But he's just someone who could fit in. If he does work out, it's a very low risk, high potential type of player.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be great for us in these later rounds. Also, pick 203 in our second 6th round pick, Josh Harvey Clemens, linebacker, strong safety from Louisville. He's rangy, has a long frame. He reminds me of Cam Chancellor with his play style, which would be great for our defensive backfield. If I remember correctly, he was 6'4", like 228 pounds.
All right.
He also he gained and lost weight from 15 pounds. He can stay around that range. He was suspended for his freshman year from Georgia because of marijuana use. But after that, he transferred to Louisville. He transferred to Louisville after his defensive coordinator left there, but he stayed off of it since then. And I think he could be a really great player for us.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I just realized something though, Chef. I think you got about 3 guys that got to have a little bit of smoke. I'm just thinking about character here. You might have picked out a few guys that I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Josh Harvey Clemens and Mike. And what's his name?
Tim
Williams.
Yeah.
But 2 players. I noticed that too. But Josh Harvey Clemens has stayed off of it.
Yeah.
He actually stayed an extra year in college to get his criminal justice degree. Something that can kind of help out with that.
That's
so
hilarious.
The problem. What's up?
No, I'm amused by that. He stays in to get a criminal law degree, and he's already had a little problem with the law. So it's hilarious. Okay. No. Some of the best players in the
Also,
draft have these problems.
with
So I
our
understand.
last pick in the 7th round, we're selecting Isaiah McKenzie, the wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner from Georgia. He scored 6 times in 3 years. Scored a touchdown every 7th time he touched the ball. He ran a 4.42, but most of his success came from like the actual like the coaches fitting it towards him. His hand-eye coordination isn't very good, but he's someone that can come in, maybe fight for a roster spot, and be really great in special teams also if he does make the roster.
All right.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. 7 rounds. Popping up on the screen. Let me review that for you. All right. Now, he starts out trade 49 straight second pick to the Panthers for 2017. First and second round pick. 2018 first and third rounder. All right. First round. Number 8. He picked out Mike Williams, wide receiver Clemson. Oh, yes. That's all I've asked for. It's all I said. I said, give me a killer guy in the first round, and I'm ready. All right. Second round, Deshaun Kaiser, quarterback, Notre Dame.
Ronbo.
Yeah.
I made edits to the other one, so this is I could read it out to you actually.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So we trade the second pick to Carolina for 2017 first and second rounder, and a 2018 first rounder. We select Malik Hooker, Caleb Brantley in round 2 with the second pick.
I just realized.
Tim Williams with our second round pick. Then in the third round we select Ahakilo Witherspoon.
You altered. I just realized as I was reading that. How come I didn't notice that in the beginning? Okay, go ahead. You got to review the whole thing. If you altered the whole thing, how far down did you alter?
Wait, what's up?
Yeah, how far down did you alter? Because I just realized when I read Clemson, Mike Williams, I said, wait a minute, I don't remember that. But now, okay, it makes sense. All right, Malik Hooker was the first guy you got. All right, you have to review it again. Go ahead, continue.
All right, so Malik Hooker, first guy, Caleb Brantley, then Tim Williams, edge out of Bama.
Yeah.
In round 3, we select Ahakilo Witherspoon, the cornerback out of Colorado.
Yeah.
Round 4, we select Bucky Hodges, the tight end from Virginia Tech. And with our second, 4th round pick, we select Jeremy McNichols. Round 5, we select Chad Wheeler, the offensive tackle. And with our second round 5 pick, we select JoJo Mathis from Washington.
Yeah.
And then in round 6, we pick Ben Boulware with our 198th pick.
Yeah.
And with our second round 6 pick, we select Josh Harvey Clemens, a linebacker and strong safety from Louisville. Yeah. And with our last pick in the 7th round, we select Isaiah McKenzie, the wide receiver kick returner.
You give me, Mr. GM, you gave me 2 offensive players in this entire draft. All right, now you know what? And you must have a reason for that. Now, why would you do that? You got a tight end, you got a wide receiver, you got an offensive lineman. All right.
We have Isaiah McKenzie, wide receiver.
Wasn't that number
Chad
7?
Wheeler, offensive lineman. Yeah. Jeremy McNichols, running back.
Oh,
Bucky Hodges,
I missed the running
tight
back.
end.
All right. I counted him already.
We have four offensive players out of the 11 picks that we have.
All right. So and your emphasis on mostly defense. And for me personally, I want an explanation on that. Give me that.
Well, during free agency, we picked up a lot of offensive players like Juszczyk, also Pierre Garcon, all those wide receivers. We didn't pay too much attention to the defensive side of the ball, and that's where I've tailored most of these things towards. I did pick up some offensive pieces that I think can really be steals in this draft. But yeah, we got a lot of offensive players during free agency, so I said to myself that why not pick a bunch of defensive players this draft?
Yeah, because I'm still in search of the elusive number 1 receiver, which we still don't have. But yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I say Pierre Garcon can play that for.
Well, yeah, he can. But wouldn't it be nice though to have Williams, to have Davis out there taking that pressure off? But you know what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could be right. Maybe Garcon can handle that load this year, and he's going to have to anyway, unless they do something weird in the draft. All right. Kenneth Height, questions here they come. Kenneth says, do you think that's the reason the Niners have been scouting players that aren't top 10 BPA.
What?
Yeah, BPA. I mean, that's you be best player. BPA is best player available. Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you think the reason I've been scouting players that aren't top 10 instead of the best players available?
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, Kenneth, there's something missing on your question though, because the question is partial. Do you think that's the reason? The reason for what, Kenneth? Oh wait, did I read it right? Back, Kenneth. Do you think Brian Hoyer can get us 10 wins? Oh, we'll go with that. All right. Can Brian get us 10 wins?
I think Brian and Kyle could possibly get us 10 wins. I'm looking more towards like 7-9 and 8-8. But Brian I believe Brian can have his best season under Kyle Shanahan. He did in 2014 with Cleveland. And now with his years of experience and Pierre Garçon and other wide receivers and pieces on the offensive end, I believe it could potentially go 10-6.
You like that? Because that's I've been saying that forever. 9, 7, 10, 6. Easily. All right. Joshua. Charles. Josh, you leave something on your name? Okay, I'll just call you Joshua, okay? He says, why wouldn't you consider Davis Webb from Cal in round 2?
I'd say here's what's going on. What the quarterback class is. The quarterback class in this draft isn't that great, honestly. I'd say like it'd be a reach for him in round 2. Davis Webb, yeah, he's a great quarterback, but I believe that there are going to be better quarterbacks in next year's draft, and that the value isn't there. The demand is kind of high for quarterbacks, and that's what's making us reach for them. But I don't think we should do that in this year's draft. There's a lot of great quarterbacks in next year's draft, like Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, also Sam Darnold, which we could potentially pick up, who could be game changers.
You know, keep in mind though, we don't necessarily finish in a bracket unless we're going to trade up next year. But if you make some of these trade downs, we will have some extra picks next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to remind you to vote right now. As the voting is underway, go to the app. You'll see the little setup there, and give him the thumbs up or whatever thumb you want to give him, and then go ahead and we'll get that later. All right, let me go down to see. All right, here's Ken. Ken says, if a deal for Cousins doesn't happen in the draft and Cleveland takes Garrett, do you think the Niners would choose a quarterback? And then, you know what? That goes hand in hand with the last question as well. If we're not going to Davis Webb, we're not going to reach for a quarterback. I would imagine that question, your answer pretty much applies to that. Am I right on that? If you don't get Cousins, are you going to continue to reach for a quarterback?
I was also considering, like you read it before, Deshaun Kaiser in the second round.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking to myself, his inaccuracy. He doesn't have great accuracy. He does a lot of the same things that Kaepernick does. He's got that big arm. He can run outside. He can get those touchdowns. 18 touchdowns in 2 seasons. But he had a lot of the same problems that Kaepernick had, and Kyle said it himself that Kaepernick doesn't really fit his scheme. So that's what made me take him off my list also. And then the pick at the number 8 pick, I think it'd be a reach to select a quarterback there like Mitch Trubisky. He has talent, but he's not worth the number 8 pick.
Oh, all right. And let's see, what was my next question? All right, Go Hard says, even though free agency picked up offensive starters, their contracts aren't future deals, not draft more offensive talent to sit back and learn from vets like Pierre and Logan, to embrace Kyle style faster. You know what? There's the thing. You wait till next year to get these players. Is it too late? Couldn't the program have gotten started now? Especially in light, Chef, of the fact that Kyle's system is very difficult to learn. Shed a little light on that.
Well, like you said earlier, there are future drafts coming up. We could also pick up players. We could pick up more players during free agency. We could also trade for more picks during the draft and select even more offensive players during there. But he does have a point that it's going to take some time for people to learn Kyle's system. We saw that in Atlanta. It took them over a year to develop to that Super Bowl caliber team.
True.
Super Bowl caliber team.
Yep.
But this is going to take more than 1 year. This is going to be more than a 1 year process for us. So we have the time.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Oh, it's
Yeah.
King Lucy Lunino. It says, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I guess I should say, happy birthday, dear Lucy. Happy birthday, King Lucy. I love people who call in there. Yes, we don't mind celebrating your birthday. Let me get another question here. YMSA says, would you guys want Sidney Jones? Sidney Jones' name seems to be coming up over and over. Sidney Jones in the third round, though. He likely can't play until 2018, but still, it'd be
He's
a
got the
good
talent.
investment for the future. What are you thinking about that?
I would love to draft Sidney Jones. I think he's going near the end of the second round, like
Right.
the teams to Seattle that really don't need the cornerback right now. But for us, we need a cornerback right now. We can't be selecting a player that's going to be
Project.
on the bench or on the sideline for another year. A lot of teams are also like drafting like this, like the Eagles. Also, they need cornerbacks right now, not in the future. But that's why I didn't select what's his name?
Sidney Jones.
Yeah, Sidney Jones. He's a very talented corner. A lot of people view him as the number one corner, better than Marshawn Lattimore.
Ooh.
But I
He's a
think that
baller.
1 year gone. We need corners right now.
Yeah. You know, I'm noticing now, most of the players that you picked out, you do assume that they'll actually be able to contribute this year, Chef?
Yeah.
Right.
Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker is one of those exceptions, though. Like I said earlier, it's going to take him a couple years to really develop into that All-Pro starter. If we do draft him, guys, he's going to struggle with the running game. He's not a very great tackler, but it'll take him time. So, yeah, don't expect too much from him his first year. He's going to struggle, but in the upcoming years, he'll do great. But guys like Caleb Brantley, he could be a potential starter if he gets the stamina up.
Yeah.
Tim Williams, he could start at edge for us. I think Keelan Witherspoon could be that cornerback 3 for us also, an eventual full-time starter.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of guys in here who could actually make a big impact.
Yeah, you said Tim. Now Tim's not a 3-down guy. You're not concerned with the fact that, well, you know what, with the roster we got right now, you don't need it. You need a specialty guy like that in there. And I noticed you didn't say anything about Solomon, since he'd be taken too high in the draft to begin with for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. Now Tim's like you say, he's that guy coming off the edge. He's like last year's what's that? Rush. What's Rush? What was Rush's first name? Anyway, Rush was great at coming off and just getting his hands on that quarterback, but he could not stop the run. Did you look at the Williams? Can he stop the run?
He struggles against it.
Yeah.
He's easily fooled by screens and stuff like that, which, yeah, I guess would take him out for some snaps. That's why he did have limited snaps against with Alabama. He had 28 snaps per game with them. He was more of a situational player, so I guess you do have a point there.
Yeah, because Marcus Rush had the same thing. And what round were you taking Tim Williams? Was that in the second round?
Yeah, second round, pick 10. There have been like some people saying that he could go round 3, like round 2 to round 3. But I believe that there's going to be some teams in there that's going to take a shot at him, and I think we should be one of them.
If Barnett is available in the second round, though, and you got him on the big board, are you going between?
No, I don't think Barnett will be available in round 2.
You don't think so? All right, because there's a lot of edge rushers I noticed coming out this year that are really good. And you got
maybe Charles Harris could be there. Also.
Taco might be available in the second round too.
I like him too, Taco Charlton. I didn't even consider that. But yeah, I think Taco would go like around 20 or late teens.
First round, okay.
Yeah. But there's a lot of players. I was also considering cornerback, like maybe Tease Tabor or
that's one of my favorites.
Kevin King.
Yeah.
But the cornerback class in this year's draft is pretty deep, so I didn't worry too much about that.
All right. Now, let's get back to is that the one we just did? So if Seahawks, Joshua wants to know if the Seahawks lower their asking price. Oh my! You know what I'm going to say too? If the Seahawks lower their asking price for Richard Sherman, would you consider making a trade such as a 5th round pick? No. Joshua, you know what? Well, before he answers this question, do you really think the Seahawks would settle for a 5th round pick for All-Pro loudmouth Richard Sherman? I just want to say that. All right, go. You got it. What are you thinking, Chef?
Well, like for your question, I don't think so. A minimum like 1st round pick. That's what they're looking for. They said it themselves. But Richard Sherman has one of the highest paid contracts. He's one of the highest paid cornerbacks.
if not
He's
the highest.
how old is he? Like 27 or something?
Richard will be going into the season. He'll be 28. He's 28. I think he's 20. He already had his birthday in March, from what I heard just yesterday, actually. Richard is now 28 years old.
Yeah, but you're going to be paying. He's 28 years old. You're going to be paying over like 11 million. I think over 11 million for him per year. It's just something I wouldn't trade for.
That's not economical.
Yeah.
And besides that, honestly, I want to get you printed on this too. Richard Sherman, like other people that come out of the Pete Carroll system, they don't look the same anymore after you don't have Earl Thomas standing back there and saving them on every play, and they go to other defense. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is Richard Sherman going to also fall into that? I'm not as good as I look here in Seattle.
He still has talent though. We can't deny that.
Yeah.
He's been one of the league's best corners.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas does contribute to that fact, but I think he'd still be a great corner, but I just wouldn't do it for the asking price. I wouldn't do it at all, actually.
Yeah. And also, can you see yourself at Levi Stadium? Richard Sherman comes running out on the field. He's got the red and gold on. Do you still have that feeling of throwing up in your mouth? I say, oh, God, Jesus, why is he here? Richard Sherman. I got to root for him now. I'd rather hit him in the back of the head with a bottle. But see,
after that tipped pass in the 2014 NFC Championship game too.
Had never and the talking smack and running, and then you get the year before last, Thanksgiving Day. There's Rich.
That's what I was gonna bring up too.
He's got the turkey up in the air. He's walking around in front of the 49er fence. What? What? You got a problem with me? You got it. I'm the best corner in the world.
Yeah. And then that beef with Michael Crabtree.
I know.
Also.
It's hard to like Richard Sherman. And some people think, well, he's a good quarterback. We could use him. I can't use him. All right. Anyway, Kenneth Height wants to know, do you think Joe Mixon is completely off the Niners' radar? There's a question.
No. John Lynch has interviewed him before. I don't think we're going to draft him. He's going second round. He's going second round.
You think so?
I don't think some team in the first round will actually get him, but the 49ers have interviewed him before. Because of that, I don't think they're off their board yet.
In fact, you give Mixon as early as the second round, right?
Yeah, like recently there's been a lot of reports talking about like teams wanting him in the second round, like that's where he's going to fall. He's a first round talent.
Which is why Green Bay is threatening to take him in the first round, from what I understand as well. Mm-hmm. So I guess, yeah, you're right, because Green Bay is dying. And you know what? If Carolina's crying so hard about 49, even in Carolina, Jacksonville, both of them are crying about they need a quarterback to take the pressure off of Bortles and, of course, Cam Newton, respectively. In Carolina, there's Joe Mixon, but he's got the issue. So, what do they do, right?
There's so many great running backs, though. They could also go with Cook. He had that one incident which happened. I don't know much about it, but apparently that's making him fall quite a bit. But they could go McCaffrey. I think he's a better fit for their system. Mm-hmm. But Fournette is that like once in a generation player.
Mm. And also he takes talk about taking pressure off of Cam.
Yeah.
If he's anything of what he's going to be advertised to be as what he is advertised to be right now, the defense they've got a plan for him. So yeah. Gohard says Logan will be gone after this season. That leaves us with Selleck and Vance. Why no tight end in your first mock? But he did have a tight end. Name that tight end again.
Bucky Hodges is a tight end and a wide receiver.
Okay.
I might have just said wide receiver like once or twice.
All right. Here you go, Gohard. And Kenneth Height says, do you think drafting McCaffrey would make our offensive a serious threat with Juice and him in the backfield? It's like having 6 receivers. I got to tell you, Chef, man, I got to think about McCaffrey. I got a big OW and I got a little OW. Oh, man. Let's go to lunch now, Jack. Woo! So, but you have, what would you say is wrong with that deal?
Going with McCaffrey. I like McCaffrey. I would have had him like earlier when he was projected to go around the second round early. I would have picked him up before Tim Hightower and all that. But we have bigger needs. We have a lot of players at the running back position already with Mike Davis, Carlos Hyde, Tim Hightower, DeJuan Harris. I think like adding one of that caliber really just nullifies the contract we had with Tim Hightower. It's wasted money, in my opinion.
But you got to get rid of Mike.
Rather bring in a guy from the later rounds like Jeremy McNichols.
Yeah.
Have him learn the system, and then the year after Hightower's gone, he can be that second running back.
Yeah. Because, Mike Davis, I'm still not sure why he is still on the roster. But I have a feeling they just want to use him for camp fodder. So, Mike's gone. He's not going to beat out Tim Hightower. He's not going to beat out Harris. For sure, he's not going to beat out Carlos Hyde. So I'm not sure where he's going to fit in. So you basically really could use, and you picked him in the later rounds. But here's the thing. The thing about Bobby Turner and Kyle Shanahan, they are notorious for picking up running backs in the later rounds and turning them into superstars. So, this is why the thing about Fournette is very confusing. Everybody says the 49ers really do seem to like Leonard Fournette. But then again, that doesn't follow their normal pattern. So it's a little confusing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Doesn't fit the style either.
No.
Kyle's offense.
Yeah, he's north-south runner. And we're talking about a guy who needs to run the zone, outside zone, look for them little creases here and there, and pick the right crease and go. So, yeah. It's baiting. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoke screen.
Yeah, right. And maybe Jacksonville will go for it because they're selling it really hard. Read something again today. Fournette is considered favorite, and when you want to let go of Carlos Hyde. What?
I don't think they're falling for it.
Yeah. No. Anyway, let me see that Curtis Samuel question. There it is. What happened to Nello? Oh yeah, we should mention Nello again. Nello has been a little ill. Hopefully he should begin recovering. He's had a condition that he should be getting over soon. Hopefully, we wait to hear from him too. Dylan DeNugget, do you think if we draft Donald Trump, we can make it to the Super Bowl? What kind of question is that, Dylan? I just noticed that. Okay, we'll go by that. I guess. Okay, so I guess that's gonna do it for the questions, though. All right. Wait. So Hell Rad, why? Okay. So Hell Rad, of course, wants to know why don't you draft his boy Solomon Thomas? Hey, you know what? I want you to give me your opinion of Solomon Thomas because I can see by your expression that you're not all excited about him either. And I like to give Sohail as much problem as I can with this.
Yeah.
But what is your feeling about Solomon Thomas? Is he overrated?
He's not overrated. He's a good football player.
Sure.
But he's too similar to the two guys we already drafted in the past two drafts.
Yeah.
Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner. I don't know where he would play. Yeah. Honestly, on our defense, I don't think he'd beat out Buckner nor Eric. No. I think it's just a wasted pick, honestly, if we draft him.
Yeah. All right.
He's going to be a good football player, though.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like I said before, he moved up mysteriously and suspiciously in the draft order anyway. 3 weeks ago, he was in the second round. Now, all of a sudden, he's the top pick below Myles Garrett. Something's really, really wrong with that. Okay, anyway. We got another question here? Joshua says, would you consider drafting Clemson tight end Jordan Leggett in round 3?
Round 3? No. I'd go round 4 instead. I was also considering him. It was a toss-up between Bucky Hodges and Jordan Leggett, but I decided to go with Bucky.
Right.
Just because he has that experience at quarterback too. So he knows some of the defense, the schemes and everything, which is pretty valuable for a wide receiver and a tight end. Mm-hmm. But that's really what edged him out for me.
All right. So I'll answer your question because who's the first round pick? First round pick was Malik Hooker, right? Hooker. How do you feel about Deshaun Watson? Because I see his name flashing across the board here too. What do you think about that?
He's good. I don't think we should draft him with our 8th pick. If he's there at number 34, then I think we should really consider him. But I don't know. He's not really that accurate. He had Mike Williams to kind of help him out, which is like a huge piece. He was one of the guys I was considering to draft at number 8 also. But I think if Deshaun Watson is there at 34, we should definitely pick him up. But at number 8 or in those like at number 2, even like we shouldn't pick him up at all. He's not worth that type of pick.
Which is going to be interesting because I got a feeling both Kaiser and Watson are going to be available at 34. Because, like it's been said, and they're singing a song about it now, nobody is worth the first round pick except for, of course, Mitchell somehow has. I don't know how he's done it, but he's got everybody thinking.
I don't know. I kind of like Mitchell, but I don't. I don't think he's worth our pick. I do see Deshaun Watson going first round though to one of those later teams, like to the
Jets
in the late rounds. Maybe Cleveland picks him up at 12 if they don't get Mitch.
Ooh,
or
the Browns
I've seen him go to like teams like the Chiefs. Maybe he goes to the Chargers. Like maybe they draft him for some reason to get the fans to their stadium. I think Watson's going first. I could see Kaiser
first
falling
round,
to the second round now.
Yeah, all right. Because like you're saying, a lot of teams got a lot of needs, and which direction would they go? If you're going to get a quarterback that everybody said bad things about, and everybody said bad things about every quarterback, and none of them worth a first round pick. So I was like, my God, if I'm a quarterback that says, why, man? I can play. I won the national championship. What are you talking about? And those I beat Mitchell Trubisky. I beat his ass bad too. If you're Deshaun Watson, so Gohan wants to know, give us a shocking last minute player we auction off for a trade. No Eric Reed, no Hyde though. Give us a new name we might see.
I was about to say Eric Reed.
Yeah, I know how that. That's.
I don't know. There's not a lot of top tier talent that we have on the team that isn't that's aging.
That's a good point. Who do we have after Reed and?
Like a lot of we have a lot of young guys also, so we're not going to be trading them. The only one that I can think of is Bowman, but no way we're trading him.
And you know what? You're right. There's only a couple shocking trading pieces that obviously, because you can't get a Rashard Robinson and get rid of him. You can't get rid of Jimmy Ward. Vance McDonald, if you consider him upper echelon, I guess you could get Vance involved in that mix, but he's going to be expensive to whomever they try to trade him to.
Yeah.
Selleck, nobody's interested in Selleck. And that goes for Blake Bell. We don't have a tight end that everybody's going to go, ooh, I'll take him. So you're right. Yeah. It's kind of scary.
Oh, maybe, you know who?
Who?
Joe Staley.
Oh!
Yeah, there we go.
That's shocking.
There was talks about him when Trent was there for a first rounder.
Yeah, earlier.
I like Joe Staley.
Earlier
I
during
hope
the
we
season.
keep him now.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to be there. The offensive line does not need any trauma right now because this is the first year. And like people always say, that offensive line needs some. No, the offensive line has, on the right side, those guys are just young. But make no mistake, they are going to mature. And when they do, the running backs who run around that right side, they got a guy that's famous for being a mauler from Stanford. He just needed some time. People did not give his rookie butt any time. Johnson Garnett sucks. What? No, he doesn't. He's a rookie. And him and Trent Brown, all he's got to do is he's got to get on a diet. But Trent Brown is athletic, and he's almost 400 pounds. I mean, you get those guys on the same side of the ball. Look out. We just picked up an all-pro center. Jump on in there with that, man. Chef, what are you thinking about the offensive line? Are they really that bad?
No. Zane Beadles was a good free agency accusation we made last year. He did good for us. Zuda, I think people are kind of overhyping him. Nothing to take away from him, but he was a reserve for the Pro Bowl. By Pro Football Focus, he was ranked the 13th center. Yeah. He's still a quality center, but I
understand he's a guard too.
He's not all that. But I think we have a lot of young talent on our offensive line, especially the right side. And Joe Staley can really teach these guys and kind of show them the way.
Mm-hmm. All right. I like that. And, okay. And Dylan says, what position would we play Myles Garrett? This is another thing I thought about. Where are you going to put Myles Garrett? What do we do pick him up? Where is he going to play? Is he going to be the Leo and make Aaron Lynch sit down?
Yeah, I was thinking Leo. Also. Yeah. I think he can beat out Aaron Lynch. Aaron Lynch is like 300 pounds, right? He can beat him out.
You know what? I think he looks like 300 pounds. I'm not sure what's going on with Aaron. he looked like he was really struggling in camp the other day. As he showed that footage of him going through drills, Aaron looked like his face looked like, anytime a dude, I think Aaron was struggling. I'm not sure if he could be able to get down the weight. He's got until minicamp after the minicamp takes place pretty fast after the draft too, doesn't it? You got 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see what Aaron can do. But yeah, he's in trouble. This is contract year too. Hey, that's the one when Gohard said, "Give us a shocking deal when we lose somebody." Aaron Lynch. Would you let Aaron go? You know how many guys are in the draft that we could pick up to take Aaron's job?
Yeah, I selected 2 guys that could take his job, and Tim Williams.
Yeah, him too.
Really to prepare ourselves. But Aaron Lynch has a lot of talent, but
Yes.
he's just not living up to it right now.
Lose some weight.
And if that does
Aaron.
happen, I think we're set.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
He could be, he'd be the most, Aaron Lynch could be one of the most vicious Leos in the league if he would just get serious.
Lose weight.
Focus.
And stay off the weed, too.
And stop, and that's what's making him eat. So, Aaron puts all this together in his mind and says, I want to be the best out there. Then he'll come in and he will be an unstoppable fiend. I've seen him throw guys to the side with one hand too many times to know that he would not dominate if he gets in that position, especially on a 4-3. Woo! I do like it. All right. Let me see. Sohail Rad says, question your thoughts on Zay Jones. Is it possible that he has the potential to be a number 1?
In my earlier mock drafts, I had us selecting Zay Jones with our first, second round pick. He has the potential to be a number 1, like a co-number 1 wide receiver. He's 6'2", he's got that length. He's proven all his doubters. He ran good at his pro day. He ran well. I don't remember the exact time, but people were criticizing him of his speed. But I think he has the potential to be a number 1 wide receiver.
Right. Again, and I agree with that because the thing about the Senior Bowl, I worry the Senior Bowl was one of those days. I like Zay, but I needed to see more consistency from through the season.
Yeah.
Joshua says, do you think safety Budda Baker from Washington is worth drafting in round 4? There's going to be no Budda Baker in round 4? I mean,
that dude's going
Yeah.
late round 1, early round 2. He's probably going to the Saints at 32.
Well,
Yeah. But I think he's pretty small. He's 5'10".
yeah.
And then we got Eric Reed playing in the box already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we
Budda,
should draft him.
but Budda would be your free safety anyway, wouldn't he?
I thought he was listed as a strong safety also.
Is Budda listed as a strong safety at 5'10"? Let's see why. I thought Budda was a ball hawk. I mean, I thought that was his thing. Him and Malik are supposedly, I thought, were in the same or bunched together there, Malik Hooker. Because the thing is, let me get your opinion on this too. Everybody's arguing about Malik Hooker versus Jamal Adams. I said, do we really need another in-box kill kind of guy? We need somebody to go back there and save the corners, because when that ball goes flying back there, we need a guy back there with anticipation, speed, and can get there and be in that receiver's face immediately, or else this whole defensive system collapses. So between Jamal Adams, and I'm just to get this fire started going in tomorrow, to be Jamal Adams and Malik. You already picked Malik, so I figured you were leaning toward Malik anyway. But who would you put in that scary center field?
Obviously, Malik.
Yeah.
I think if we draft Jamal Adams, it kind of just like leaves Eric Reed to the side, because Jamal Adams is a strong safety. He's a great leader and all that. I'd love to have him on the roster, but I just don't see him fitting in since we already have Eric, and I have faith in Eric. I've seen him training and all that. He's a huge dude, and I believe he can do great things at the strong safety position.
He's going to. It's hard.
I'd rather go with Malik Hooker though.
Yeah,
That need of free safety is really big.
Yeah.
It's huge for Salil's defense.
Yeah.
And Hooker could fill that void.
Do you think Kwaski T, will they find a place for him? Because somebody said between the Sam and the Will, they're trying to figure out, is there a place they can put Kwaski T to help out the linebacking crew? Because you've already got Eric Reed in the box. I guess we could get super athletic and super fast. Would you entertain thoughts putting Kwaski T around that area?
Putting him as a hybrid?
Yeah.
I've never considered that, actually. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to check, his tape and all that to see if he could actually play the position. But he'd be a rotational player right now for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah. Go ahead. He says, my bad about the tight end question, but I thought you gave us 2 different mocks, and the first one, okay.
No, the other one was I made edits to it, and yeah, it was just Ronbo had the old one.
Yeah, he made a last minute adjustment that I wasn't aware of yet. Bad GM. Okay, thank you.
I forgot to mention to you. I was like, dang, I forgot to tell him like at the start of the thing.
It's okay. We got through it. Kelly Yamaguchi wants to know if Christian McCaffrey is still available in the second round. Would you draft him anyway? And then she mentions Fournette, but Fournette and McCaffrey are not going to be compared. If you want Fournette, you do not want McCaffrey. If you want McCaffrey, chances good you don't want Fournette. So yeah.
Yeah. But I would take McCaffrey at round 2. Mm-hmm. Since it's better value there, we also get the most out of our 8th pick. It kind of leaves Tim Hightower to the side though, but for that type of talent, then yeah, I'd do it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I know it's a pipe. But listen, tell you what, I want to mention, because the fact that everybody thinks we don't have the proper edge rusher, and I just want to get your opinion on this as well. Now, you've also got the guy that last year did really good in 3-4, but he's not even a 3-4 player. He's really a 4-3. You got Ronnie Blair. What are you going to do with Ron Blair?
I think he could actually compete for our Leo position also.
Yeah,
he's a good pass rusher.
Damn good, actually.
If not, he can be a rotational player also in the defensive line.
He will be. In fact, look for him. If he puts as much energy into the position as he did last year, look for Aaron Lynch to get into a lot of trouble with guys like him. And also remember, you also have those guys that were famous in the 4-3. Eli, Harold, Tank, Carradine. They're going to redeem themselves this year. Are you thinking on that?
Yeah, I was also thinking about that. Like when I was making my draft, I was really considering drafting Reuben Foster. But then that would leave guys out like Eli Harold and Ray Armstrong, who we really have yet to see what they can do in this defense.
Oh,
but I think they can do good things in this defense also.
Ray Ray's got. Oh man, Ray Ray's that guy that can read the defensive line, drop back into coverage. You know what? Ray Ray's going to be hard to beat out. That's why they went ahead and let Gerald Hodges Jr. go. I think that position is already his. It's his for the taking, is what it is.
Has he been signed yet?
Ray?
Gerald Hodges?
No, Gerald Hodges he went to Kansas City looking for a job. I don't know what happened there. But the 49ers didn't bring him back. So, and we already got the Sidney Jones thing done so we already did the Sidney Jones. He likes Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones is like a 1-year project. You put him on the bench, let him sit back there and read. I'm not sure why Sidney Jones is considered. I'm curious though, why is Sidney Jones a project and not? I've heard other people say that. I watched this tape the other day because somebody sent me the tape because I didn't know who Sidney was. But I checked him out. Sidney was out there picking off everything, man. Every time the quarterback looked to throw, there was Sidney right in the way, So why does he need time to mature?
He doesn't need that much time to mature. Really, the cornerback position is a hard position to transition to in the NFL. We've seen it with Trey Waynes. He struggled.
Badly.
Other players have struggled also.
Yeah.
It takes them at least a year to get acquainted to the position. But I think Sidney Jones would be one of those guys that really just jump starts off of it, like Marcus Peters and all those other guys.
Oh.
But the only reason he would need a year off is because of his actual injury. He'd be coming back around week 12, week 14. But he wouldn't be the same type of player for a couple months till then. Every
time somebody says Marcus Peters, I get this little figure. Remember when we picked up Eric Armstead? And I'm not mad at Eric. Eric's going to be a monster this year, even though I'm arguing with people about that all the time because Eric Armstead sucks. Come on, man, you divided Eric Armstead by last season. Have you ever played football with a bad shoulder? So, but Marcus Peters was there, and they picked him up few minutes later after we heard Eric Armstead come to our
Yeah.
roster, and the Kansas City Chiefs have selected Marcus Peters. Why did they have to elect? Why did they have to grab him immediately after we got Eric Armstead? That's not funny. That's all I can think. So Kid and I wants to know. After this year, what NFL teams would be desperate for a quarterback? Wow. Every year this happens too.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm starting to run low on battery too.
Okay. We're about to shut down. One more minute.
All right. I'd say Chicago, New York, because I don't think they're going to give Christian Hackenberg this 1 year, and I don't think he's going to do well. During college, he had around a 50% completion percentage, which is awful.
And they drafted him.
But this year is going to be the year of Hackenberg, and I don't think he's going to perform well. So the Jets could be in there. Maybe Jacksonville if Bortles doesn't perform again.
You're right. This is last year.
There's a couple teams in there. So next year, there's a lot of quarterback prospects, but there's going to be a lot of quarterback needy teams.
And I'll bet you something right now. Chef, Cleveland will be back again looking for a quarterback next year, guaranteed.
Yeah. If they do get one, and if they don't get one in this year's draft, which I think they will.
They're going to go after. Listen, they're going to go after. They're finally he's going to be free next year. They're going after Garoppolo. The Garoppolo sweepstakes next year is going to be just out insane, So it's going to be funny. I just want to mention also
end up like Brock Osweiler though.
I know how
he's $72 million contract.
And he sucks.
Yeah.
Because people come out of the Patriot system. They can always look great in New England, and then they come out and they're okay. They're average. Happy birthday to Lucy and Draysire Loop, Richard. Vote. By the way, let me mention real quick. Vote for a candidate and give him some love. See how you feel about him. Also, I want to mention this. Next week is our last week for this show. If you want to be a GM next week's the last show, you need to send me some email. ronbosports@gmail.com. ronbosports@gmail. I'll take the first two I see. ronbosports@gmail.com. You will be in the finale show of the 2017 Red and Gold GM. All right. With that said, I guess I hope nobody's sleeping at home, are they, Chef? Because you gotta holler out with me, man. When I count down to 3, 2, 1, man, we gotta let out some emotion. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Niner! Where is he? Chef, you were supposed to join me on that.
Was I supposed to do it with you?
You were supposed to do it with me. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. See ya.
See you tomorrow. 7 p.m. We will be live with the weekly fan gathering. Chef, I ought to make you holler right now, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you, man. Bye.